Please welcome to the stage Ian Hutchinson, VP of Sales at Duplo Cloud, and Marve Sonner, Global Practice Lead, SaaS at AWS SaaS Factory.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning, and thanks for joining us today. So we will be talking about 3 scaling lessons learned the hard way. But first, a couple quick round of introductions. My name is Marve Sonner. I'm part of a team called AWS SaaS Factory at AWS. And in my role, I work with SaaS organizations of different sizes. So anything from early-stage startups to enterprises. And my team helps those organizations to build and grow their businesses on AWS. I've been in the B2B software and SaaS space almost entire of my career. And today, I would like to share some of the learnings I had, either experiencing firsthand or working with the SaaS organizations. And today, we have Ian Hutchinson from Duplo Cloud with me, co-presenting.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I lead the sales team at a Series A startup by the name of Duplo Cloud. We're in the cloud infrastructure and DevOps space. It's the 3rd startup and 3rd SaaS company I've worked for, and it's getting progressively easier and better each time. But it is hard. It is hard to build a SaaS company. It is hard to scale a SaaS company. I truly believe there are lessons learned and best practices that you can share with people that are at a similar stage to you, or maybe a year ahead, a year behind, so on and so forth. And that's really what inspired part of the talk today. And so I'm going to pass it back to you, Mary, to get into it.
Yes, so we will basically be talking about 3 learnings for different parts of your business. So we will start with your financials, then we will move on to your go-to-market, and then we will close up with your product, data, and data security and compliance. So let's start with the financials and doing more with less. So up until 24 months ago, many of the SaaS organizations focus on growth, like acquiring new customers, growing revenue was #1 priority. But as we move into the last couple of years, this has shifted. Now organizations are focusing on more profitable growth. It's more sustainable. They want to make sure they grow with some profits. So if you look at your profits, it basically comes down to 2 main things, your revenue and your costs. So as you grow, scale your businesses, it's important to optimize your costs so you can do more with what you have. And if you're a SaaS business, you probably have different types of costs, like your infrastructure cost, R&D cost, your headcount, and all others. And as you grow your business and as you add new customers, your costs will increase. That's kind of how it goes. But hopefully, the idea is your revenue should grow much faster than your cost so that your company is in a right path. So in order to do that, many of the organizations we work with, they are focusing on a metric called unit cost. And unit cost could be defined in different ways depending on your business. So it could be your cost per customer, cost per user, cost per feature, whatever makes sense for your business. But in the end, as you scale your business, you need to really look at a trend that is decreasing for your unit cost, because that's how actually you scale your business. And even if your costs grow, you will be still profitable, and your revenues will hopefully grow much faster than your costs. So once you look at that and focus on this unit cost and decreasing it, there are a couple of other things that you can do for cost optimization so that it's like that reaching to a healthy growth is much easier. So let's look at some of the examples how you can optimize and decrease your costs. So depending on which resource you look, between 80 to 90% of startups fail after a couple of years they were founded. And the #1 reason why they fail is lack of cash. So they're out of money, they're out of business. So it's really very important as a startup just to be conscious of what you spend and when you spend. And the #1 area you could look at here is really your labor costs. In many organizations, labor costs could take up to 70% of your total business cost. So it's really important as a startup to understand when you hire and who you hire. And this should really go hand in hand with your go-to-market. So for example, if you are a product-led growth company, then probably investing in a sales team may not be your priority, or the other way around. So just be conscious of who you hire and when you hire, and make sure you optimize the cost you have. The second area that you can do to do more with less is actually outsourcing some of the undifferentiated heavy lifting. So this could be anything from outsourcing your server infrastructure management, or outsourcing some of the business processes such as payroll, working with partners to build your product so that you can really focus on the core part of your business that provides the value for your customers. And finally, managing your cash flow. As I said, it's something that you cannot look over. It's number one reason why startups go out of business. So many of the startups look for metrics like ARR, NRR, which are all important, but definitely keep an eye on your cash flow and make sure you are on the right track. Ian, over to you.
Awesome. I'm going to shift here and talk a little bit about go-to-market, which obviously plays a role in cash flow. In my career, I've had several different aha moments. And when I look back at these aha moments, I think back at the different stages. 0 to 1 million, 0 to 2 million ARR, you are not saying no to revenue. You are taking all of the users you can get, you are taking all of the cash you can get, and you should be doing that. But you should be going back to those customers and talking about, what did you buy? Why did you buy it? How would you describe it to a friend? It's very simple, tactical questions that you can ask to better understand your product market fit. We grinded for 2 years at Vidyard before we got from 0 to 2 million ARR. We found out that the integration with marketing automation platforms that we built was this aha thing that a lot of customers were saying, this is the why, this is what we do. And it shifted the conversation from this huge billion-dollar fluffy TAM to being, these are the next 1,000 companies that we can sell to. It shifted how we did our sales process, it shifted how we did our marketing, it shifted the features that we built. We then scaled from 2 to 10 in the next 2 years. So then when companies would come inbound to us and say, hey, I want to use your product, we could say, we're skeptical because we know our why. We have that product fit in the back of the mind, and it's a very powerful thing to do. DuploCloud, similar thing, but instead of interviewing the customers, we were actually looking at churn data. Our number one cause of churn was around a lack of adoption, the customers not using the product, which is common in SaaS. The number two was financial distress. We were selling to companies that were too early to really benefit from our product. You can solve this with price floors. You can solve this with discovery questions in the evaluation process. You can alter your outbound motions so that you are now selling to the right types of companies. From here, I'm going to shift a little bit. You can spin your tires on marketing and sales like I was talking about a little bit, but you want to build the right product. Now, there is a whole bunch of things we could talk about in terms of how do you define the right product, how do you figure out what people want, what people need, so on and so forth. I'm going to talk about one lesson learned, more aha moments from Vidyard and DuploCloud, and this one is really around data, security, and compliance. When we got to a significant size, when we found this sort of fit, we found our motion, we were getting buried in InfoSec questionnaires. Why were we getting buried in InfoSec questionnaires? Because we were a B2B organization, and companies store their data in a ton of different places. DuploCloud is 65 people. We use 65 different SaaS applications. Organizations need to be conscious about this and need to be thorough, which is why you see so many organizations getting their SOC 2 when they're very, very early, because they know they're going to be B2B and they know they're going to grow. So how does this affect you as you build your product? You should be thinking about what data you need to store and what data you don't have to store. Do you need to store payment card data? Do you need to store healthcare data? Do you need to store PII? When you're integrating with Salesforce, what data do you have access to? So on and so forth. Where is it? And ultimately, this will help you, A, with your growth. You'll be able to get into these larger accounts faster. And it would also help you with a remediation perspective. There won't be a lot of rework and a lot of process on the product side that you need to look at. So in summary, be smart with the product you build. Have a thoughtful strategy about who you sell to and who you don't sell to. And if nothing else, keep cash in the bank, because that's a mistake you can't make.